My name is Sarit from Improve You, and today I want to share with you why I decided to quit my daytime job as a personal trainer at Equinox to follow my dreams, my passion of helping you and millions of others to transform your life. We eat numerous times a day, every single day. It's a part of who you are, it's a part of who I am. Everybody has a story, but here's my gist of it. Growing up, I was a fat child, right? I came from a family in Israel, right? Always surrounded by food. We come from a culture of great hospitality. Wherever I went, there was always so much food. If I didn't finish my plate, I was considered to be impolite. Well, always being a people's pleaser, I ended up overeating. By the time I was 12 years old, my confidence levels were down because I was, well, one of the fattest girls in class. I'm also known to be short, fun size, whatever you want to call it. So the fat didn't distribute the same way as it did on other girls. When I hit age 13, that was about year of 2003, I started developing eating disorders. Food was, at that point, the only thing in life that I could control. So, being the perfectionist that I was and still am, I wanted to do it to a T. So, from eliminating one thing to the next, I ended up eliminating multiple food groups, and before you know it, didn't even eat anything. I weighed about 100 pounds, was on the path to destruction, but felt great because on the inside, that was the only thing that worked well for me. I just moved from Israel to Jamaica. It was a very unforgiving place. I couldn't speak the language, did not relate to anybody. I was also a tennis player at the time, so I got really competitive. Imagine being an athlete who undereats and is malnourished. Yeah, that wasn't so much fun, but I did it anyways. Fast forward a couple of years, my mom and I had a battle, and she didn't really like the fact that I wouldn't eat ever, so I started hiding it from her, and we kept on going back and forth. Our relationship sucked, but I stood up for myself. I was stubborn because I wanted to achieve something, wanted to feel better on the inside, and that was the only thing that I could perfect in my life. I kept on starving myself. One day it got to the point where I was threatened that unless I'll start eating, my whole family will have to move back to Israel, and feeling responsible for my entire family, wanting for us to stay connected, I started eating. From anorexia, my path of eating disorders transferred over to bulimia. Tried that, didn't work very well. Not a big fan of tasting my own juices, let's put it that way. And ever since then, I just kept on going back and forth, right? Terrible snowball effect. And, I've always been so highly motivated that it's like every Monday I'm like, all right, ready for it. Like, I'm not gonna eat anything until 3 o'clock, and then I'm gonna eat really clean, or so I thought. And come Tuesday, or when an exam struck, something happened. Before I knew it, I finished about 2 pounds of chocolate. Well, I already fucked it up anyway, so I might have as well just kept going. Went for the cereal box, went for all the peanuts, whatever there was in the kitchen. My mom would start hiding things from me. Nothing came my way, still did it. Before you knew it, when I was in college, as a student athlete, I gained over 25 pounds. At my worst physically, I was up to a size 9. That's when I was 18 years old. Again, just battling trying to find myself taking all of my emotions out on food for some reason. At first I could control it, but then I didn't know how to. So I felt frustrated, ashamed of myself, had no confidence, just wanted to hide inside. The struggle was real. When I graduated college, I was in 2011. I was 22 years old at the time. My dad had a heart attack. He's morbidly obese. Like me, he took everything out on food and he worked his whole life off. When I got that call, a day I can never forget, that by far the hardest day of my entire life. I lived in the US at the time in New Jersey, and that same night my student visa was expired. I had no guarantee of coming back. I flew back home because we didn't know if my dad was going to make it. And at the time he was working in Africa. Thankfully he's still here with us, not taking care of himself like he should. But I'll never forget how I felt and how my family felt the day that we were in the hospital and he was transported from Africa on a medical plane to get medical treatment. I felt helpless, scared, sad, but for once in my life I thought to myself, well, maybe it's a sign. If you don't want to be there like that 30 years from now, rather than focusing on dieting, I tried any and every diet you can possibly imagine. Maybe start thinking from the inside about your health. I committed to my health by, first of all, eliminating all sodas. I used to drink like 3 cans of diet soda a day. It had no calories. Must be good for you, right? Diet everything, diet yogurt, diet blah blah blah. Well, because it had less calories, no fat, but I found many ways to make up for these calories. But 2011 is when my journey to health has begun. At the time I promised my dad that I will train for a marathon because it's something that he always wished to do. He was always a role model, and he told me that he won't be able to do that anymore. So I figured on his behalf that would be an honor for me to do that. So I started training for a marathon. During my training, I was back at school. Yes, I made my way back to the US. During my training, I've had the pleasure of discovering a group of great coaches. Well, they discovered me the same way. They're like, this girl is running on the treadmill for miles on end and she's going nowhere. What's her deal? They walked up to me and they told me, look, you seem so dedicated and motivated. We don't know what your deal is, but if you want to know how to really start training, meet us tomorrow right here at 7 a.m. Having no car, living 30 minutes from that gym on campus, I found my way there because I knew I was meant for something greater. Not knowing anything about all these fancy words that they use, like a squat, clean, jerk, what? Ever since then, my journey of health and fitness has started in a positive manner. I ended up shifting my mindset to eat to perform, and my workouts got better. I got way happier, way more confident. I felt so much better. And for the first time in my life, I actually got to a physique that I had always wanted. Well, of course, in life we keep on evolving, and so does our body. I started shifting my mindset more towards mindfulness with regards for my nutrition and my health. The reality is, When you stick to something and you're consistent with it, you're going to achieve results. Food is a party, food is fun, food is a part of the best memories of our life. We should not have to treat our food like it's just here to help our body function. It should be all of that combined. We've decided to create a precise nutrition tracking system that's as precise as macros, but is not as exhausting as macros, and therefore is very sustainable, because the goal behind it is to help you increase your life expectancy first and foremost, your lifestyle, your happiness, your physique. I know what it feels like. I've seen it on people who are either very close to me or have experienced it myself. I relate to the feeling, and I know what it feels like to be at your lowest. I also now know better what it feels like to be at your highest, and chose to take the risk of quitting my day job to help you and millions of others bridge the gap in order to improve your life and make it a healthier, funner, better, happier one. Because by the end of the day, that's what it's all about, and that's what food is all about. Love you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.